Hey, good morning, guys. July 10th, and Hebrews. I don't know that we've been in Hebrews much at all. I don't know if Chambers has been in much in Hebrews. I don't remember any in particular, but it's Hebrews 10, 24 and 25 is where, Paul. We don't know. We don't know the author of Hebrews, but we assume it might be Paul. Um, the style is a little bit different, I think, and so that's why people speculate. But the the one oh sorry it's 24 and 25. Let us consider how we may spur one another on, and there's a lot built into this. Spur one another on toward love and good deeds. Let us not give up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but let us encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching. um, Spur one another on to good work, love and good deeds. Sorry, it says spur one another on towards love and good deeds. And so, what does that look like? And Chambers deals with the spiritual sluggard. It's becoming sluggish, as spiritually sluggish, which is interesting because what Chambers does is he brings the two together. He brings together the spiritual and the good deeds. And he says, we have a tendency sometimes to misplace our spirituality. I'm kind of paraphrasing and encapsulating what he says here. Or the same thing can happen with good deeds. We can hold good deeds as the end, or hold our spirituality as the end, as like, okay, we want to be spiritual. And he actually says, to live a remote, retired, secluded life is the antipodes or antipodes. That word doesn't, I don't know, that's not a modern word. Antithesis, maybe, of spirituality as Jesus Christ taught it. Jesus Christ taught that, I think it was the Chambers getting at, that spirituality or good works, each in and of themselves, is not an end. It's not the goal. The two is the goal is for them to be working in communion with each other. Our spirituality, our spiritual activity, to be working in tandem, in cooperation with our good works. I think James obviously does a pretty good job of highlighting that. Faith without works is dead. And so Hebrews then is basically saying that we need to be poking each other towards love and good works. And the truth, those two things together, interestingly enough, that he puts those two things, love and good works, love and good deeds. Obviously, love and compassion and concern for our fellow man will generate good works. That's the reason for the good works. I love this person, so I want to do something. And so we need to be poking and encouraging and whatever it takes to kind of to encourage. Same word. I should have thought of a new one, but that's the same word. So encourage each other towards good works. Chambers says this: the test of our spirituality comes when we come up against injustice and meanness and ingratitude and turmoil, all of which have the tendency to make us spiritual sluggards, which is really interesting. He says when we come up against all the meanness, the tough stuff of the world, injustice, meanness, ingratitude, turmoil, that can have the tendency to make us spiritual sluggards. And I think what he's saying is that we can divorce ourselves from the working of the two together. Is that we almost we can become so maybe so focused on the stuff that we forget that there's a spiritual component to it, that we don't understand or forget that the way to break down the kind of the foundational messiness of this world that's a spiritual component. And then not just to try to deal with the actual stuff of this world. The stuff is just the symptom, and the real cause is what's underneath. And so both have to be dealt with. And he says here at the bottom, active work and spiritual activity are not the same thing. So the work and spirituality or spiritual activity are not the same thing. Active work may be the counterfeit of spiritual activity. So if we're not careful, we can just be dealing with the symptoms, just tackle the symptoms. So you've seen that you've talked, when people talk about medicine and, oh, well, take this or rub this on it. Well, that doesn't deal with the issue, the real issue at heart. Deal with the actual cause, the problem. Active work may be the counterfeit. The danger of spiritual sluggishness is that we do not wish to be stirred up. All we want to hear about is spiritual retirement. And I think what he's saying is, okay, so he's spiritual sluggishness. He's also talking about being disengaged from the actual work too. Both are bad. Being disengaged and only dealing with things in a spiritual sense and saying, I'm just going to sit over here and pray. I'm not going to do anything. My prayer is not going to generate any activity, any good works. And so that's, I think, is what he's saying is spiritual sluggishness too, is the person that would just pray, just sit around and be concerned, but not concerned enough to get off their butt. So my encouragement is get off your butt today. Let the spiritual fire create some kind of activity that that deals with all the other stuff of this world. Let the two work together in tandem. So have a great day, guys.